Hey, what's going down? CCA. So, first of all, I hope everyone had an absolutely amazing New Year's Eve. I know from judging by the group, a lot of people were stuck staring at screens, and not a lot of people were out. And the other majority of you seem to really, really, really wreck yourself. So, whatever the hell it is that you were doing, I just hope that you had a really good time. More importantly, this is the very first live that we've actually done for 2018. So cool thing is there's already like 200 of you on the call. So I know a lot of you are excited to be here this morning. And we're really blessed, guys. We're really, really blessed. I know that a lot of you are heavily invested in Verge now for a couple of reasons. One, the trade calls over the last 10 days, starting at 200 sats to where it is now. But also, one of the most talked about cryptocurrency right now on Twitter. So if you don't know, Twitter and cryptocurrency is, that's where it's really talked about. So to be the most talked about cryptocurrency on Twitter, more so than Bitcoin, is absolutely ridiculous. So we're very, very lucky today. We have a special guest who's come all the way over from. These guys are so anonymous. I don't even know where they are. But they're here talking with us today. So I'll bring on Mr. Luckwhite. How you doing, brother?
Good. How are you?
Man, I'm really well. Thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today. So just to give us a rundown real quick, what is your roles and responsibilities and affiliation with Verge, just so the guys can understand?
Sure. Well, I started researching them in December of 2016, and they were Doge Dark back then, and they had a rebranding in February of 2017,
I'm glad
and
because
that's when
I don't think I could have invested in Doge Dark. So I'm glad
yeah,
they become Verge.
yeah, it was the early days of my research into them, so it was interesting to see them go through a rebranding and how that kind of gave them a boost out there in the new coin arena.
And you started researching them, and then obviously that turned into some roles and responsibilities. So what does that look like now?
Right. Well, I joined Telegram in about June of this year. And about 2 months in, they started a marketing team. And I started volunteering there. Before then, my main role was just to get troublemakers off of devs and CryptoRex back most of the time. Yeah.
and now and now obviously that's turned into a full blown deal. You're in the core marketing team.
Sure.
You're obviously looking after all their Telegram stuff. And I mean, as far as a marketing team goes, I look at Verge, and I look after a lot of the marketing for a coin that I'm sort of heavily involved, co-own with a buddy of mine. And look, I look at what you guys do, and I'm just like, these guys have really, really, really got it going on. So how often do you talk with, I guess, the devs? And obviously you gave notice of Wraith. What's his role, and what does Wraith do?
Well, he was the guy that he's the CMO basically. He's been called before. So,
Yeah.
but he's taken more of a standing back role in terms of working on the website. He's the one that wrote the black paper, and that's what originally turned me on to Verge. Is that when I was reading through that, I could tell that they really wrote it for people who are not technically savvy, as
So
well as
give us an idea of that, because obviously a lot of people have heard the term white paper before. What's the
yeah.
difference between a white paper and a black paper?
Well, for Verge, they're just kind of very creative and sort of everything's a little bit of a joke, but everyone knows exactly like what the game plan is, you know. So it's interesting how they do these quirky things and everyone gets a kick out of it. I think it's a part of what I've witnessed there as like a troll culture, you know, like there's a lot of competition that comes in and harasses people. So we kind of troll each other sometimes for the fun of it. When we get tired of banning them all.
And it's interesting as well because like I read a lot of the comments and the stuff that people write, and obviously like I've been talking about Verge a lot, and one of the things that people do say a lot of the time is, I'll never invest in this currency because of how immature or how unprofessional sometimes the team can be. So, sorry to throw that on your lap, but I mean, obviously you guys are lads. I understand that, the lead dev, I mean, he's a graffiti artist who loves painting trains by the look of his deal. So, like, I understand you're kind of having a giggle along the way, but you're pretty committed, right?
Sure, sure. I mean, first thing I learned after about week one, I almost actually got kicked out week one when I was in there. I got in a public sparring match with Caesar Polar, who was a developer there. I found out later. And Dev basically said, "You guys in now or be gone." And I survived. So here I
Yeah.
am.
And is that just part of the culture? Like, obviously, these
Yeah,
guys are smart freaking dudes. And it's interesting. I've met a lot of coders throughout my time, and a lot of them are usually super introverted or hard to judge. I mean, I look at Sunrock and he's out there. He's like he kind of reminds me of myself at times. I like it. He just gives people shit. And, like he has no. I'm just like he gives it to people. I like it.
yeah, yeah. He's a no nonsense, no bullshit kind of guy, and we all respect him a lot for that.
Yeah.
Uh,
So help me understand how's Verge structured? What's the structure around Verge?
well, it's a loose structure because it's all volunteers. So like people are coming and going seasonally, and that's mostly lower levels. And then you have the marketing team. There's about 60 people on there. I've only met about 10 to 15 of them. About half of those are just translators. So they've been really helping out Verge a lot to develop in international markets and untouched markets. So yeah, it's been going very well. And other than that, there's about 32 other developers. Only about 13 of them have contributed to GitHub, from what I've researched. And then there's the main dev. So it's a rough network of about 100 people, but it's always changing. There's always people coming and going, and yeah, sometimes
Okay. So
they
who
break the rules.
who are the people? Yeah, who are the people we can rely on? Who are the people that are really there that are building this thing that are super committed? Because obviously, as an investor, and I mean, just being transparent, I'm balls deep in this thing. Like, so it's always interesting when I hear stuff like that because there's always going to be people leading the charge, and there's always going to be people that come and go. I've been in business a long, long time now, and I see that everywhere. So who are the guys who are heavily invested that have got skin in the game that need to see this thing win?
Right. Well, the top there is like Sasha, Patrick from Europe, Dev, of course, Crypto Rec, and let's see. There's a couple more. Anthony, Spooky Kid, and
Yeah,
yeah, it's a good pack of guys. And like you said, they're all really intelligent. It's like yeah, I mean, so like Verge gets a lot of criticism about the Wraith protocol and the release of that and all. And so there's a public story, and then there's my story, which is uh, part of the experience of me getting into Verge and just becoming a part of it. It's a type of crypto where you can do that because basically you just show your intent over time, and people will see you. And now, when the marketing team first started, obviously it was just anyone who wanted to join in, and the vetting process since then has obviously taken place out in the public, and
yeah.
so that's where a lot of the concern came from because of this loose knit nature of the whole ordeal. And so the thing happened. What happened was basically the developer had communications with the team, and somehow those communications weren't relayed or misinterpreted from someone else, and so it turns out that there was a bit of a false start when Dev was just starting to develop Wraith protocol, actually, which started about 4 months ago only, and it's pretty
So
amazing
let's
the stuff he
let's
does.
yeah let's talk about that for a second because I look there's I've read everything on Reddit and I've heard a lot of people have a lot of different versions. So just complete transparency one time, because a lot of people will say, oh, freaking, he didn't set his alarm, and that's why Wraith wasn't, launched. Or, they say, oh, a marketing guy said that it was meant to launch and it never launched. So real quick, what happened there? Because obviously we're all sitting around waiting for Wraith protocol to launch. There seems to be a lot of ideas that there's going to be some heavy price action when it does up. What happened last time?
Well, last time, what happened was, let's start at the beginning. There was Mike Stolier, who was there in the beginning of the marketing team. And then there was Kieran. Kieran was also there in the first week or two. And so these two guys really did a lot. I mean, Kieran made up to like VP or something. And yeah, he was always very high energy, out there doing all kinds of things. But I think he was motivated to see it be done more so than it was actually ready, because Dev obviously made his own deadline a little short, because Wraith Protocol Stage 1 actually came out on November 8th this year, which was 2 days after the proposed countdown had went down and all the drama that ensued from that. And so it was part of the vetting process. So basically the marketing team, to start out, we were building all these materials and info packets and all these graphics and stuff. And my role was always as a growth hacker and creative input. So I've had a little bit of influence on things like platform integrated portals, which were the tipping on Facebook and Reddit and Twitter and all that stuff. So that was kind of fun. Currently, I've worked my way up to community manager on Telegram, and that gives me access to management, actually. So I have to be careful about what I share, but for the most part, it's just guys hanging out and talking. There were incidents in the past where chat room screenshots had leaked, and that was Crypto Bull, from what I gather, about his tweets afterwards and all that. So there's.
So I guess to sum that up, it was just a very, very loose organization at the beginning, and someone said something that they shouldn't have said, and it snowballed into what it is now, right?
Pretty much, because we just have a code of silence until something is released, and then we share the infographics and the tutorials and all those things. Yeah.
And look, I get that, and I can appreciate that. If anything, I learned some hard lessons very, very quickly when launching our ICO. And, we had a tentative agreement with someone. I've come out, I said something too early. The market went crazy, and it destroyed the relationship before the relationship got started, and it ended up looking like we kind of lied. And it was just one. You kind of have to learn from your mistakes, right?
Sure, as you go, yeah.
All right, so I got 3 more questions, and then obviously I want to get to the question that everyone wants to know is is Wraith going to be released? But in your opinion, right now, what is the true value of Verge?
Well, the true value, I feel, has been like around 500 Satoshis earlier in the year. And because of the continued marketing that has kind of, sputtered along to, keep us busy while we wait for Wraith, of course. So, and yeah, that has built up, and it has reached a level where we're expanding in more markets. And yeah, Verge is getting a lot of attention. And so that's exciting to see.
All right, so I'm going to ask the question again. What's the real value of Wraith? I mean, what's the real value? I mean, that was the most political bullshit answer I think you could have come up with. What do you think it's worth?
Yeah, I feel like Verge itself is worth about 1,000 Satoshis now, as it's been revalued. So clearly we have a new bottom there.
Yeah,
and it seems to be around 1,300 or so now, and so we're still finding where that true value is. With Wraith, of course, we're getting anonymity, we're getting stealth addressing and built-in Tor, so you don't have to work to connect that and use that service. And so it will be very interesting.
So sorry, I'll pause you there. So when you say that, explain that to me. So when you say, because I know that there's a lot of people that they're investing in Wraith. in Verge. They have no idea what the Tor network is. They don't understand how to set Tor up and everything like that. So when you say that it's going to integrate, are you saying that the Verge wallet and Wraith will automatically activate Tor to keep everything super secret by itself and no one will have to set anything up? Is that what that statement means?
Well, yes, that's part of my standing as to what stage two entails, which is just the baked in Tor, they call it, and stealth addressing, which they got from, I think, an old crypto called Shadow Coin, from what I
Okay.
gather. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the future outlook for Verge, before I get to the big question, tell me, have you got partnerships coming up? I mean, who are the decision makers and the shot callers? Who are they networking and talking to with now
Right.
and at this point?
Yeah, well, currently we're working on getting the bit thumb. I think that would be very huge for Verge. They got USDT trading on Bittrex now, so that's opening up new possibilities. I'd like to see it traded more with Litecoin across all networks. I think, with new tax rules coming up in 2018 for the U.S. here, it's important that people, stay out of the coins that are slower and more expensive because that's going to really change their trading decisions.
All right. So in regards to partnerships, is there anything else that you can comment or share? Like, is
Sure.
there anything else that you can say that's concrete that's coming?
Yeah, Dev is the auditor with Token Pay, and they're working on bringing out a debit card that can be loaded with XVG and other cryptocurrencies. And that should be
Where's
released in 2018, a year from now.
Okay, and where's the Verge card at? Because I know Verge has spoken about having its own card. Like, where's that at the moment?
Uh, I think that card is the Token Pay card. I don't think they are developing one themselves.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right,
as
yeah.
far
I
as
mean
I've
that
heard.
I saw. Yeah, I saw pictures, so I mean it could have been a misunderstanding.
Right.
And I'm gonna ask one more question because I
Okay.
have to know. Anyway, before I ask the big question, why the fuck do you guys leave everything last minute? Like, I think you guys fuck it. Like it's I like it. I like the hype and everything that it creates, but also holding, close to 3 million coins now. It's also giving me a fucking ulcer. So like, why do you guys leave everything last minute? What is going on?
Well, Dev has talked about it in one of his interviews in the past that he has extreme anxiety, and so I think it's him like self therapy, his self therapy, because it's kind of like one of these things. When something bothers you, you want to confront it actually, because that's the fastest way to get beyond it and to no longer let it bother you anymore. So I feel like maybe on a conscious or subconscious level, he's doing that with these last minute releases. And of course, the Wraith countdown was never going to happen, but obviously Dev was pretty busy during the time, and sometimes I notice he doesn't read my stuff for weeks, so it does happen. He really goes all out on Midnight Burner a lot of time.
Yeah, and look, as a dude that suffers from anxiety and depression, look, we've all got different ways to cope with different shit, right? So I can understand and appreciate um if that's his coping mechanism. I just wish it didn't have to make all of us as equally, like, is he trying to make the rest of us just as equally as anxious as he is, or like, what the fuck?
Well, he's like this. It's his troll culture and Verge. He's kind of like king of the trolls at some point. It's like
All right.
they really love him. They go crazy. It's like win moon, moon soon, Lambo win, soon moon now. They just they want it. They want to see the
So,
coin
all
do
right.
well, and I do too.
So obviously now the big question is, because is Wraith really going to get released, or is this just like the pinnacle of trolls? Like, where obviously there's literally people sitting on the edge of their seats. There's people counting down from different time zones. Everyone has a theory. Everyone has an idea. You're there. You speak with the team directly. You're involved with management. Is Wraith getting released, and will we see it in the next 7 hours?
Yeah. Dev has mentioned on his Twitter several times that he gets that question a lot, and his answer has always been yes ever since I've seen it shared. So it looks like we're doing all right. I don't know why exactly it hasn't dropped yet. Obviously, they don't tell us because I've been expecting it for a month, just like
Yeah.
everyone else. And we just want to give him time because tech does take time, and he does some good work, but he also is a guy that's supporting his family and busy with other things as well. So yeah, it's it hasn't been all him, but I think anyone that wants to help really can just get involved. From what I've seen, there's a lot of people that work their way up through these structures, both in the chat rooms as well as into the marketing team and all that.
All right. So it sounds like it's happening. It also sounds equally as loose and unorganized as I imagined it was. But the cool thing is, I mean, now that I understand, I guess, the devs, I understand the community a little bit better. I can also understand, I guess, why. It does sound, a lot of the answers have been very, very vague. I will be honest. I also understand why the answers are vague. I guess from here, I guess all we can go off right now is that the team believes this thing is launching. You believe this thing is launching. Everyone at the heart of it has said this thing is launching. The only person who isn't saying it's launching is the community that has absolutely no input or idea whatsoever. So I guess we just have to put our trust and faith in the team and uh, give these guys the time and space they need to get it done and sit here and fucking wait for it to happen, I guess.
Yeah, well, the good thing is that Verge has already reached top 20 without Wraith, and there's obviously been a large hype train, and it's been a lot of stop and go and regular promotions. Not just Wraith, but also RSK next year in the next quarter, and what else? Yeah, they're still waiting for that on Bitcoin. So as soon as that's out on Bitcoin, we'll know if Verge can actually get it for next year. And so I'm looking forward to that, seeing if that works out as well.
All right, brother. Well, look, have you got anything else to share, or we'll wrap this thing up? And most of all, look, I just appreciate your time. I can understand, how busy and everything is, and then I'll get with you. I'll talk to these guys for 5. But is there anything else at all that you want to add?
Yeah, just we didn't think it would go this far this soon. I've always said that this will be a top 10 cryptocurrency, but I thought it would be next year. So it was surprising to see it go this far. And I'd just like to add some other information that um, is rarely shared in the chat nowadays because it's been so hectic and crowded in there with all the new people that were trying to help out. So you know, uh, based on what has happened so far with the McAfee thumbs up and all of that occurred, um, it's really interesting to see how Wraith will either, sink or swim here moving forward. I feel like even if Wraith doesn't come out uh, today, in the next couple hours, that Verge will continue on. And, I have no doubt, but, you know, uh, Dev is the man. He really works hard, and everyone's really behind him. So basically, he asks for anything and he gets it. So now, the budget and the marketing team and all these other factors have increased with the price increases. So moving forward, the marketing team will have a much better budget for next season. So we're looking forward to getting beyond Wraith and into Wraith Stage 2, Wraith 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, and so on. Dev has shared with us a couple times that there's will be continuous innovation and improvements to the tech being decentralized and open source. Obviously, competitors are going to pick up whatever you put out there and duplicate it to the best of their ability. But my expectations are high for the new year. Dollar looks possible now. 2 months ago, we thought that was a joke, and it was at the time. So Things have changed, and I think moving forward, just hold. There's going to be a lot of regulation trying to step in, and I think privacy coins are going to be a more common occurrence, just because it allows us to duplicate the credit card cash experience, right? So I look at Wraith as being cash, and I look at Verge as being credit. So you go up to the register, will that be cash or credit? Instead, it will be, is it anonymous or just private? And so I think with the Android wallet incorporated in Wraith and other improvements possibly in RSK, that Verge will allow people the option of privacy rather than just the narrow version of anonymity only. And so I feel like that will decriminalize crypto for private use in a sense. And I think that's a good step forward for everyone. So to sum up, this is just some of what I wanted to share in this gathering.
Man, and look, I also, appreciate and understand you're there, you're working away as much as you can, you're doing everything that you can in your power. Obviously, there's a lot of things that are completely out of control. And to be honest, if anything, I just appreciate the fact that you're transparent as you can be. You're honest. You're not a hype guy. You're kind of just telling us what it is that you know. And look, brother, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you sharing what it is that you know. So, man, thank you so much for your time. I'm going to talk to my guys, and wrap this thing up. But, man, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. We appreciate you.
All right.
And, yeah, man, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. And let's do this again sometime.
Man, I look forward to it, brother. I know the lead devs are happy to talk to us as well. So that'll be pretty cool. Pretty cool. So thank you, man. Right. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, appreciate you too. Take care, Michael. Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone else, good to see you.
All right, guys. So to wrap that up, I'll give you my feelings, understandings on everything that I just heard and my direction. So I believe that Lucklight 100% was honest in everything that he said. What I do believe as well is, he has the information that he has. And he was pretty open forward sharing that with us. One thing I want to share with you guys is this is, from being involved in this space for a while now, from understanding legal, from understanding coders, developers, and everything like that. I mean, this space is very, very, very tough. And, I was reading some of the comments in the thing that, this guy doesn't know what he's fucking talking about, or, Wraith's a piece of shit, or, it's so easy to throw so much mud when you got no freaking idea. But, these are guys, it's about to be New Year's Eve there. And these are community managers that are fucking here doing their best to talk to you guys and give you information that's free value. Australians, we are just ruthless in some of the things that we say and do. So, try not to listen to too much negative noise. Am I selling? Fuck you, bro. I don't need to sell it. If this coin dumps, trust me, I'm good without it. I've been so transparent about how much Verge I have. More importantly, I've been open with all my trades, and I actually gave disclaimers telling people, hey, don't follow this trade call because I'm so financially invested if this thing goes up. So first, right at you. But more importantly, guys, I just want you to know that, you guys are getting more information than most. Try not to listen to too much and make an informed decision based on everything that you have at hand. And here's what I want to share with you. As a trader right now, if you sold everything, you're in profit. If Wraith gets released and you buy back at 2,000 Satoshi, it's still a good deal. However, if you believe that, this thing's going to come out, you'll miss an opportunity. I mean, you just got to understand, you just got to do whatever is right for you in your situation. There is no right or wrong deal here. This coin is going to go forward with or without any of us. I believe it's coming out. I'm not selling one coin. I mean, if it doesn't come out and it tanks back to 500 sats, will it suck? Yes, that will suck a lot. However, if it does come out and the price action increases and, everything's good, we're all popping bottles. But I think regardless what happens in the next 24 hours, I believe that, for the long haul, this coin has a pretty good future. I mean, the marketing guys are on top of it. It's the most talked about coin on Twitter at the moment. I mean, that's no easy feat. So I hope this helped all of you make some sort of decision. I hope the information added value to all of you. And, if you got nothing positive to say, then that's on you as well. So, guys, I hope it helped. I hope I served you guys well as well. I don't interview many people. So I hope I asked the right questions. I also hope I was able to add value to you guys and serve you guys and help you guys out as well. And I look forward to doing more of these as well. So God bless all of you. And I'll talk to everyone in a little bit. Thank you.